Okay, guys, I'm here for another retro review. Been a while since I did one of these. I think it's been almost a month. Well, you're gonna get at least 5 of these this month because I don't have much. I have a lot of time now on my hands, given, this pandemic we're all going through. So, yeah, you're going to get more of these now. You're going to get 5 of these. One tonight, one next Wednesday, and then the other 3 will come on the 15th, the 22nd, and the 29th. So, well, the 15th, that one might come out either the Thursday or the Friday after that. But anyway, the subject of today's retro review is No Mercy 2005, which is a very historical pay-per-view for a very sad reason. It took place on October 9th, 2005, from the Toyota Center in Houston, Texas. This is an 8-match card, so the maximum number of stars is 40. Our opening contest is Road Warrior Animal, Heidenriech, and Christy Hemme against all 3 members of Eminem in a mixed tag in a 6-person tag match. A 1-star match, nothing really special about this match. There is some psychology from Eminem, in which they work over Animal's shoulder. This match is 90% Animal and Heidenreich working with Nitro and Mercury. But then Christy gets a hot tag, and then the match ends with Christy and Animal doing the Doomsday Device, and Christy pins Melina. Is what it was. It was a 1-star match for psychology, but nothing special. Second match, Bobby Lashley versus Simon Dean. Not much of a match here. Simon Dean said if he lost, he would eat 20 double cheeseburgers. He lost with a Dominator. And Bobby Lashley won in his pay-per-view debut. No stars because it was predominantly a squash match. Next match, Fatal Fourway match for the WWE United States Championship. Chris Benoit versus Orlando Jordan versus Booker T versus Christian. Now this is Christian's final pay-per-view match. Technically, his final pay-per-view appearance was at Taboo Tuesday 2005, but he didn't wrestle in that match. So, this is the actual final pay-per-view match in the WWE till 2009, I believe. But yeah, this is a really good Fatal 4-Way. Finish comes when Benoit puts the sharpshooter on Christian. Christian taps out. And they were building the whole Booker T heel turn of Sharmell in this match. Because there was a time where it came down to Booker and Benoit, but Benoit ended up winning, so Sharmell said that Chris Benoit was not Booker's friend and all that. Yeah. Led to that best of 7 they had going into Armageddon, and during that, Randy Orton would win the U.S. title for Booker T as a proxy before the 2006 Royal Rumble. Yeah, interesting. So, also on this show, we have the pay-per-view debut of Mr. Kennedy before his official name was Mr. Kennedy, as it's Hardcore Holly versus Ken Kennedy. The Fatal 4-Way got a 3.5-star rating. This is actually a surprisingly good match. That's saying something, given this match of Hardcore Holly, but it's a surprisingly good match here. That's great, but trust me, it probably could have been worse, but 2.5 stars this match. Kennedy gets the win with the with the move that would become the Green Bay Plunge. 2.5 stars. So then we have Rey Mysterio versus JBL. Good match here too. Good big man, little man match. Told a very interesting story about that, especially since Rey Mysterio was coming off a victory over JBL prior to this. Of course, it was also when Jillian Hall had her growth on her face, which really takes away from Tazz on commentary in this match, because that's the only thing he focuses on half the time is Jillian Hall and her growth on her face. But still, in terms of the actual match going on in the ring, it was an okay match. Rey hits the 619, goes for the Hurricane Rana, JBL ducks it, and then hits a clothesline from hell out of nowhere, and wins the match. So, yeah, good match, 3 stars, no problem with that. So then we get the first ever Handicap Casket match, as it's the Undertaker versus Randy Orton and Cowboy Bob Orton. This is part of the Randy Orton-Undertaker feud that has been going on since WrestleMania for all intents and purposes. This is actually the best match on this card. This is the best match on here. There's an amazing spot where the Ortons do a double superplex. The finish, Undertaker puts Cowboy Bob Orton in the casket, which they say technically eliminates Bob Orton from the match, even though technically no. There's a spot in there where Undertaker and Randy Orton are in the casket and the lid closes, which technically should have won the match for the Ortons anyway, because they had to just shut the lid on the Undertaker in there. But anyway, the finish actually comes when Undertaker puts Cowboy Bob Orton in there, in the casket, and Undertaker's about to put Orton in it, but then Cowboy Bob Orton gets a fire extinguisher, uses that, Taker gets into the casket, Orton then grabs a chair, and that puts Taker into the rest of the way, and then him and Bob Orton close the lid of the casket. It was actually a surprisingly good match. It was a 4-star match, and then Randy Orton and Cowboy Bob Orton set fire to the casket, much like what happened to Undertaker in the last casket match he lost, I think, prior to this, which was 1998's Royal Rumble. Because I know that happened in that casket match, and I know Undertaker lost it. I don't know if it happened in any other casket matches he had that he lost, but I'm pretty sure that was the last one he had lost prior to this one. Again, could be wrong. This event was nearly 20 years ago. It was 16 years ago, or 15 years ago almost. So yeah, good match though, 4 stars. So then we get the WWE Cruiserweight Championship match, Nunzio versus Juventud, in a match set up on Velocity when it was a WWE.com show. Juventud had won a Cruiserweight Battle Royal. This is when the Juventud, Super Crazy, and Psicosis had come into the WWE, and they were the Mexicools. They rode on lawnmowers. I'm not going to get into how that might have appeared. But anyway, this isn't that great of a match. It has a very innovative finish where Juventud has a Northern Light suplex and then he floats over it as a Hoovy driver. So that was the best spot of this match. It's a 1.5-star match. Not that great. In fact, Juventud would be gone after Armageddon, I believe. I believe he got fired right after Armageddon. And then Super Crazy and Psicosis would carry on to Mexicools till Psicosis got fired. Which I think was in 2006. So, yeah, the Mexicools were not a thing long in the WWE. So, then we get our main event, and this is where this pay-per-view is historical for the sad reason. Because it's the World Heavyweight Championship match, as it's Batista versus Eddie Guerrero, in what is Eddie Guerrero's final WWE pay-per-view. It's not his final match. His final match took place on SmackDown, I believe, near the end of October. I could be wrong on that. But I believe it was a qualifying match for Team SmackDown for Survivor Series. But I know that was his last official match. At least that was televised anyway. He may have had a match that was not televised before his death. But I know that was his last televised match. But this is his last pay-per-view. This is an okay match. It's 2.5 stars. The story of this match is the real Eddie Guerrero going to show up? Meaning the Eddie Guerrero from about 5 months ago when he was feuding with Rey Mysterio. And there are points when it looks like that's going to happen, when Eddie gets a chair a couple times but doesn't use it. There's a ref bump and Eddie gets a chair, thinks about using a chair but doesn't, and then Batista essentially hits 2 spine busters to win the match. 2.5 stars, not a horrible match. So yeah, that's No Mercy 2005. Its total star rating is 18 out of 40, which puts it right above, makes it a C-, but barely a C-. The casket match is really good. In fact, the 2 worst matches on this card are Bobby Lashley, Simon Dean, and the Cruiserweight title match. And the opening match isn't that great, so those are the 3 really bad matches on here. Everything else is fairly decent. So, this will be in my Retro Wrestling Review playlist, and next week I'll have a new Retro Wrestling Review for you, and it'll be WCW Road Wild 1996, which I watched about a month ago to see if I wanted to retro review it, and I did, and it'll be my next one. As far as the other 3 that are coming this month, I don't know what I'm going to do with that. But also, I will be up here probably next Monday or Tuesday to review both nights of WrestleMania. I'm going to do it in one video. I'm just going to put both nights in one video. And even if you know WrestleMania spoilers, don't tell me, because I'm going to treat WrestleMania as a live show. Even though I know it's not, I'm treating WrestleMania as if it's going to be live. So, if you like this video, like button down there, subscribe button down there, and thank you for watching. Bye.